Well, hi there. So glad that you're with me today because I got something that's so darn cute. Of course, I think everything I do is cute, but this is cute. Uh, we, I previously have had other videos, and some of my viewers have asked me to do all of the little mini blocks because once you learn them all, that's 80% of quilting is learning the blocks. And this, I got it in a estate sale a couple of months ago. And a lot of my viewers have ordered them off of Amazon or eBay. And because it was published, I think 11 years ago, 10, 11, 12 years ago. But it's invaluable. I mean, you will enjoy this so much. Well, we've made a lot of the blocks, and I'm using them as, this is a preview, I'm using them as a little banner across my fireplace, and I'm gonna use little clothespins on a jute hanger. And this one was the last one that we did. And I have to double check what the name of it was. We did the spool one, and then we did sawtooth. This is called sawtooth. And the other one was spool. And today we're going to do another block. But before we do the block, I just wanted to review. These could be used as mug rugs. I think they're a little bit too big. They measure 7 by 6.5. They're almost 7-inch square. That's okay for a mug rug, but you can use them for this. If you were going to use them, like I did these, I would put, for mug rugs, I would put 2 pieces of batting in them. But that's not how I'm using them. But just think of all the different ways you can use them. Well, the block for today is called 3-Color Economy. I had never heard of this block, but you talk about a cutie. I think your choice of fabrics will make this little block. It's simple. You can do it. Beginners can do it. But I made a mug rug without putting the black around it. I just put a backing, right sides together, sewed them, left a seam, an opening to turn it, and then I folded under my 1/4-inch seam and made a little seam all the way, just on the edge, like 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Now that to me is a really good size for a mug rug. I know it doesn't have any room for a cookie or something like that, but in business offices or whatever where people don't have a lot of room on their desk, this is perfect. So I'm going to make our 3-Color Economy block, and I hope you'll make it with me. And whether you choose to do a banner like I'm doing, or if you want to do the mug rugs. So simple. All right, I'll be right back. The first piece that we're going to sew are our green pieces onto our center square. When you line this up, you don't really know, how far to go on each point. So I turned it over where I could judge a little better. And I just got them eyeball. I did not measure, but I eyeballed until I thought they were exactly about the same. They're the same on each side. about as close as I know how to get. And then you will sew your 1/4 inch seam, and be sure and not veer off like at the end, because if you don't go straight to a 1/4 inch, it's going to make a difference. So you want to hold this fabric down until the needle almost hits your finger. Okay? Now, I'm going to sew a stitch, and then I will show you what I'm talking about. I'll see if I can do it straight. I want to show you my stitching. Your 1/4 inch seam, you start up here. Start sewing with your 1/4 inch even with that. And you're going to have just a little tail of the green on the left-hand side. You see that little tiny bit? That's where you're going to catch it. Then at the end, when you keep it straight, you're going to have that same little bit right there. Your 1/4 inch seam should go right across that point and leave that little tiny bit right there. Then we're going to fold it over. You can finger press a little bit. To always set your seam. And then I think for these, it works out better if you open up your seam. That's what I did on mine, and I just felt like I got a better seam allowance and a better frame to work with. And you don't worry about these points now sticking out. Don't worry about them. Okay, correction. You do not put it on that side. You put it on the opposite side. You do your opposite sides. That way you can see your points. So, sorry, I misled you right there. So we'll do the opposite side, then we'll do this side, and then we'll do this side. Turn it over, and now, there again, you can see your points. And get them. I think this side is just a little bit bigger. I'm going to move it over just ever so slightly. And now I think that's pretty even. And I will sew it and be right back. When sewing the other two sides, I've got the top and the bottom done. I am pressing it to the outside. That lays much better that way. And this one I will do also. Also, when you're putting this on, right sides together, if you will look and just kind of eyeball it, you know that that's your center point. And you know that you're good to go. That it's headed in the right direction. And so you know that these are put on evenly, but still turn it over and just look. And there's that point, and there's that point. And it looks to me like, no, I'm going to leave it be. I'm going to leave it be. Can't be too choosy and too particular. Now I'm going to sew my seam. Okay, there's our first block and first part of it. Turn it whichever way you want to turn it. Isn't that cute? And see your points up here? You've got just enough room, barely, for a 1/4 inch seam before we cover, so we don't cover up our points. So measure it if you want to and make your seams a little shorter. A scant 1/4 inch so you don't cover up those points, okay? Now we're going to put our red, and it's the same principle. You're just going to start putting the top, and then next you will put the bottom, and then you will do both sides. Okay, there's the first side, and see, it's the same principle. Sewing on that, make sure that you catch that, have that little bit over to this side. Same over here, that you're catching that. You're going all the way down to the ear places. We call them little ears, but go ahead and sew down that way. Now, when you turn it over, ta-da, see our seam points are showing, and that's because I did a little bit more scant of a 1/4 inch seam, because I did not want to catch I want my points to show. So if you need to move your needle over to the left, to the right, one time, that's what works for me. 2 sides put on, so far so good. See my points? Very good if I do say so myself. Okay, now I'm going to put the next one on. And same principle, put it on till you kind of think it's heading it's right. Turn it over, and then judge by your points. See, this one's got too much, so I need to move over just ever so slightly. And I think that's pretty much perfect. And I find that it's easier to, after you've got it put on there and you know it's good to go this way. I messed it up, so I have to put it back. But when you know that it's good, and you've got your points, where you want them, pretty much even. I find it a little easier to sew this way because you can watch and make sure that you don't cover up that point, or 1/8 of an inch at least. Okay, let's see. 5 1/2 exactly. So there is your little 3-color economy block. I so hope you enjoyed being with me today. God bless you.